Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. We are back at the sticker table and we're going to be doing an unboxing. Now I'm going to open this thing upside down because I'd like to be respectful to the individual that sent this to me, of course. I purchased this off of Blade Binge. I do have affiliate links and I am able to make commission on stuff like that I post with links. But one thing that I want to share with you guys that I would like to start doing is I want to start pulling certain knives off of Blade Binge that I would personally want to buy, but maybe just want to promote and help to sell. Whether it's obviously my own sales or just something that I think is actually a good deal. And this in particular is something that I am very happy I was able to get a hold of. It's not a super fancy knife, but I got a really sick deal on this. And if you hunt enough, you're at the right time, right place and all, you can still find really, really good deals on Blade Binge. So this, and I didn't think I'd have another one of these on the channel so soon. This is a concept knife. One that I definitely want to check out, but I just didn't have the money set aside for it at the time that it came out. So it's not like it's old news, it's still relatively new. We got some extra springs right there, Omega springs. So obviously that's a dead giveaway that this is going to be a Omega spring crossbar locking kind of style knife. Concept has been doing some really, really cool work when it comes to Omega spring knives. And this is the exact variation that I would have purchased for myself. This is none other than the Eagle Strike. I believe it's called the Eagle Strike. And it's supposed to be a simpler, slender, larger, more hand-filling design. It's pretty simple. Honestly, there's not a whole lot to it, but sometimes simple is all you really need. And I think this is a really good-looking knife, definitely. One of my favorite things immediately that I noticed when Concept started doing their crossbar lock knives the right way is they really do exaggerate how far back they push the sharpening choil and the plunge grind. If you hit this in the right light, and I know it looks a little bit difficult to see because of this beautiful polished stonewash on it. Damn, that's a really nice finish. I like that. A good working finish, absolutely. You can see the shadow that's created right there. So that ends right about right there. So you have all this material to sharpen away on something like this, because it's not the tallest blade and it does come relatively thin behind the edge. I personally still would want to put anywhere between 18 to maybe even a 15 degree edge just to get the maximum slicey performance out of this. So I really do enjoy that Concept is implementing that little quality of life machining factor or design idea when it comes to a lot of their crossbar locking knives throughout majority of their most recent models of crossbar locking knives. They really do push that far back, and I love that so much. Whoever is calling the shots on stuff like that, I would personally give them a hug, like a nice big bear hug, because that makes me so happy to see that. From an actual user and sharpener's perspective, that's a little quality of life, little detail right there that makes a world of a difference. If you know, you know. Nice little ramp. Notice that it actually scoots up a little bit. It feels good in hand. And the jimping, while this blade is of course tumbled, the jimping still has some good bite to it. That's really nice. Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff right there. I could really push, and the callus of my thumb really bites into it, or it bites into my thumb. That's nice. I like that quite a bit. Studs are cool. Nice and simple, nothing much to them. They didn't try to reinvent the wheel. They didn't need to be. You got some little design aesthetic here. Now, sure, maybe if you're going through really gunky stuff, that stuff could get caught up in there and maybe you might have some corrosion issues potentially. I personally am not super worried about that because I like to clean my knives after I use them. Not afraid to use them, but just keep your stuff clean. It's really not that hard. Some Clorox wipes, some freaking WD-40 or some Goo Gone or something. That's all you really need. But let's check out how this thing is constructed. So we got T8, both sides axis for the pivot. It is most likely free spinning. Concept is still a company that does free spinning pivots. It's just one of their things, unfortunately. But it looks to be like all T8 body hardware. That is freaking awesome. That is another little personal preference, and I know it divides the community absolutely when it comes to T6s are whatever. They're really not that big of a deal. But T8s are just a quality of life improvement because you can use one bit to tear down the whole damn thing. A hidden screw for the pocket clip, keeping the screw side very, very clean. Now, obviously, you notice right off the bat, there is no lefty love, which is unfortunate. And I know that they make a tenable variation of this in a couple different colorways. They even have a diamond texture aluminum. I don't mess with aluminum. I don't like aluminum. I don't care for it. But if you like aluminum, they have a diamond textured variation of this. It looks so freaking good. I mean, such a good looking knife. But obviously this plain Jane with the tie, and I believe these are steel liners that are, they're finished the same way, or they might actually be, this whole thing might actually be titanium construction. I don't know. Let me get my magnet here. Oh, hold on. Okay, it is, yeah, it's a steel liner. It's finished the same way as the tie. I'm willing to bet that this is a coated titanium scale, which I didn't know that. I thought this was actually just raw finished tie. But this was something that I wanted to get so that I could practice some anodization finishes. I'm currently working on a project where I'm doing splatter ano, and this is something that I bought with the intention to do some customization experimentation really on this. But we'll see what's up, if this is actually coated or not. The fact that they were able to get the tie scale and the steel liners to be damn near the same color, I'm willing to bet that it is unfortunately coated. So that kind of sucks right there, but not that big of a deal. You can see right there in the reflection, or those three little dots. So Concept does allow for adjustment for Omega springs. I think that's wonderful, giving the customer some customization choices. Some people like really floppy Omega springs. Some people like it where, their thumbs get ripped off. I'm on the side where I like my thumbs to go numb after a day of messing with an Omega spring knife. It's just my personal preference. That's all it really is. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and take the weight on this. This thing has some heft to it. I really wish that it was a cartridge style Omega spring, but then there would have to be something to fasten the cartridge style into the frame, and it would kind of break up the cleanliness look of it all. So I mean, I can pick at this, that, and the other, but realistically this is a pretty straightforward, simple knife. I can't see myself absolutely falling head over heels for it, but I don't think I'm gonna hate it either. What I got it for was a really sweet deal. I can't complain. I don't think anybody else would complain for the deal. 5.3 ounces, yeah, sounds about right. Can't complain for this size and a weight. Now, size-wise, let's take a look at what this thing stacks up with. Recently, I've been picking up a lot of larger knives, just cause. In the past, I really did do a lot more stuff with smaller designs, but I'm kind of moving away from them a little bit, just cause, just to try out something different. This right here is a Senka Glide Strike. I've been carrying this thing quite a bit. Wonderful $45 little budget knife right here. Well, not little, actually. It's a pretty lengthy blade. The Glide Strike is just a hair bit longer. Let's check out this guy right here. Ow. There we go. Large Sebenza. This thing, the Eagle Strike it's damn near the same tip to tail as the large Sebenza. So if you've handled one, or you currently own a large Sebenza 31, the Eagle Strike is the same size. I've got a couple other to help size-wise. Here's a Predator, definitely a highly respected budget knife for sure. And if you don't know, that's a pretty sweet knife. So if that's your first time seeing the CMB Main Edge Predator, you should look into it because there's a lot of value in that knife. Rumor is they might be coming out with a premium one sometime soon. I don't know when, but fingers crossed, hopefully soon. Here at the bottom, lightweight Manix 2 by Spyderco. A little bit shorter than the Eagle Strike. What else? What else can we bust out real quick? I don't have, well, this guy, and then, you know, yeah, let's grab a couple little things. The last crossbar lock that I purchased, this is a Olaton's premium model. I forget the name because it doesn't actually have a freaking name. It just has a number sequence. It's like the Olaton's T052 or some crap like that. I have plenty of content sharing and talking all about this thing. It's not that difficult to find it on my channel. And right above here, last size comparison is going to be the Prado, designed by Ray Laconico, produced by CJRB. So these two knives are exactly the same tip to tail, which I think I'm gonna really like this Eagle Strike because I've been loving these other knives that I just showed off. So hopefully those, however many knives that was, help you guys get a good visual representation of what this thing is all about. The blade material that I didn't even bother mentioning, S35VN. S35VN is good stuff. I've sharpened plenty of it from all different companies. The other concept, I think this is the only other concept that I currently have in my collection. I have the crossbar lock Main Street, designed by Dirk Pinkerton, but that's on loan to my mom right now. Yeah, she's actually she's rocking that thing right now. I don't know if she's actually using it or not, but she was bugging me that she's like, hey, my son is a knife tuber and I don't have any like real knife for utility and semi self-defense purposes. So I gave her that just cuz. But this is the only other concept knife that I have, and it's an S35VN. This is the Loki 2, designed by a wonderful individual in the community, Stephen Dunnick. Supposedly, there's going to be an XL variation of this, and I think it would be so sick if it was about the size of this Eagle Strike right here. Keeping the frame lock, because, I mean, they really do a good frame lock, especially with his design of having this large, very well designed, well rounded disengagement here of the frame lock. It's just, this little guy is such a treat to use. And even though I have been moving to larger and larger knives lately, this thing, it's such a good little compact knife. Not a fifth pocket knife, but it's a compact knife. But yeah, this thing looks good, right? Feel wise in hand, it feels pretty darn good too. I have large to extra large size hands, but I do have slimmer fingers, so I don't typically find myself having any restraint issues when it comes to, you know, fitting where I need to be. There really is only one position. You could be down here, and there's these heavy chamfers right there. That's comfortable. Like if you want to be back here, just to keep your knuckle away from whatever you're dealing with at the moment. But if you want to be on this flatter spot right there, you could creep up a little bit if you wanted to. You could also do one of these to do some, get down to that tip. And speaking about that tip, it is just a little bit above, in line with the pivot, but it shouldn't be too difficult to get to the tip and utilize for precision tasks and whatnot. I do not have any time on my hands right now to do a disassembly, but I will do one a little bit later on, so I can just share my thoughts of what this thing looks like on the inside. I can't say it's going to be anything, special per se, but I already know that it most likely has steel races that are fit for their own proprietary bearings, so I won't be able to do skiff bearings, which is unfortunate. And not that this really needs it. I mean, it's obviously fall shut action on bearings, and while the action is very floppy right now, I don't know what the tension setting is set to currently, but I'm gonna make sure to put it to the highest one. It might even be in the lowest one. It really feels like it. Like I can do this with one thumb. So this thing is like, it's kind of gross how floppy this is. But extra strength Omega Springs do exist. It's just that will it fit within how small this frame is? Let me go ahead and throw that in the pocket really quick. You can see it's a good looking pocket clip. It definitely matches the whole aesthetic. Very simple, very straightforward. I like the curve to it. Seems to be good enough of a ramp, kind of chunky of a ramp to get into the pocket, but it is milled out beautifully to have some decent spring and retention. Let's throw it in the pocket. My jeans are a little chewed up right now, but it's fine. I mean, if your jeans aren't chewed up, are you really a knife guy? So yeah, doesn't feel too bad. It is a little bit on the snugger side. I think snugger, is that even a word? I don't know, but it could be now. I will end up bending out that clip just for preference. It feels a little too snug getting it into the pocket, and that's mainly the ramp. I could really force it down, but majority of my week I'm wearing sport slack type materials from like Under Armour, and the seam of the pocket is really thin. So on my jeans here that has like double the thickness on the pocket seam, if I'm having trouble with it with jeans, it's gonna be hell with my actual work related attire. So I will be definitely bending out that clip. That is just for personal preference. I think it is good looking, well designed for the most part. I'll just have to tune it up a little bit. But that's the wonderful thing about having a pretty well made, decently made knife, is that I can change this. This allows me to, the way that the blade is executed, this allows me to put a super high performance edge on it. I love that. I can customize that. I can change the setting of the tension to fit my preference and taste for Omega Spring tension. I love that. I can bend the clip out just a tad bit without worrying that it's going to ruin the item itself or cause any sort of issues. I love that. Very simple, straightforward. I can't say that this is going to be, you know, a bad carry at all, but we'll see in the future if I have anything extra to share with you guys on it. Of course, I will share my journey as I go to sharpen, reprofile, if I find anything worth mentioning, but in a week or so, I'll come back with a full review and share my final thoughts on this, but I think this is going to be a pretty good carry. So that is it. Stay tuned for future content showing this thing off. And that's pretty much it. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like down below. If you are subscribed already, thank you. I appreciate all your support and your patience, of course. If you are not subscribed, please consider subscribing because I play more content and videos coming your guys' way. With that being said, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.